Hey everyone, how's it going? Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's Learn Gujarati with Me podcast episode and, of course, YouTube video. We're going to keep going with this vocabulary series, which I've had for the past nine-ish videos. So we're going to learn a whole bunch of Gujarati vocabulary. We're going to get to about 500 new high-frequency words. So we left off last time at number 201. This is Hasfu. So hasfu means to laugh. Hasfu also, by the way, means to smile. So two different meanings for this verb. Chokro haseche, the boy is laughing or the boy laughs. Tamakem hasocho, why are you laughing or why are you smiling? So again, two possible meanings. In fact, let's even write both of them in here. To laugh or smile, two different meanings. Number 202, easy word, chashma. Could be pronounced jasma as well. Jasma, chashma, both are fine. Chashma kya hai? Where are the glasses? Mara chashma tutti gaya. My glasses broke. Okay, pretty easy sentence there. Number 203 is mirror. Mirror is adiso. I think there's some dialectal differences for this as well, because my family, for example, says adiso, not adiso. So adiso safche. The mirror is clean. Let's get rid of that extra I. Perfect. Adiso safche, the mirror is clean. Hu arisama joju. I'm looking in the mirror. Teaspoon is chamchi. Chamchi. By the way, a tablespoon, in case you wanted to go that direction, like a bigger spoon, obviously. That's chamcho. So chamchi for teaspoon, chamcho for tablespoon. Chamchi table parche. Easy sentence. The teaspoon's on the table. Let's even write teaspoon here. Teaspoon. Perfect. Mane chamchi apple. Give me a teaspoon. Really easy. Plate is thari. Thari. Thari safche. The plate is clean. Amari thari che. These are really easy sentences. Super, 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 super easy. Thari as well you'll sometimes see that in restaurants as well, which would mean like a plate of food pretty much. And you can pay for like a thari and you get kind of like a plate of food with all sorts of different things on it. The word for milk is doodh. Doodh. Doodh garam che. The milk is hot. Hu doodh piu chu. I drink milk. These are easy words today. Like honestly, these are super easy. Tea is cha, number 207. I've heard some families say chai. Chai comes from Hindi, but I've heard some Gujaratis use chai as well. Depends on where they're from. So cha tayyar che. Tayyar, I'm not sure if we've seen that word yet. Tayyar is ready. So what's what that means? So cha tayyar che, the tea is ready. Hu cha piu chu, I drink tea, or I am drinking tea. Rice is bhat. I'll also give you chokha. Chokha means it's not here, but chokha is like mm, I don't know how to explain that. Like I can like picture it. Let's just stick with bhat for now, and I'll come back to chokha in a moment. I'll think about this as I keep recording. So bhat is the word for rice. Bhat garam che, really easy. The rice is hot. Dar bhat shak rotli. So dar bhat shak rotli just means like dar, rice, curry, rotli. Um, that's kind of like the just kind of standard. Like if you ever ask like, hey, what do like Gujaratis eat? They'll say, oh yeah, dar bhat shak rotli. If you want to hear a really funny song, there's a comedy video made by this British Gujarati YouTuber. It was maybe like 5 or 10 years ago. And if you literally just search dar bhat shak rotli song, you will find it. Okay, rotli is rotli. We don't need to really go really much into here. Rotli is rotli. We won't even do the sentences. Actually, yeah, let's do them. Why not? Mane garam rotli bhave che. I like hot rotli. मैं गरम गरम rotli khadi. I ate garam. That's funny. I ate hot rotli. In Gujarati, you can always do garam garam or tandu tandu. You can take two adjectives and repeat them side by side to emphasize that adjective. Motu motu, very big. Tandu tandu, very cold. Garam garam, very hot. Um, so yeah, this is rotli with a little t, not a big T. Rotli. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, here we go. Kand. Kand is the word for sugar, number 210. So kand miti che. Miti is the word for sweet. Kand miti che. Mitu, we're going to see the word for sweet later on. Dabbama kand che. There is sugar in the box. Dabbama means in the box or in like a little container even. Even container, frankly, is more accurate than box or container is better, I guess. Okay. Now this gets a bit confusing. The word for salt is mitu, mitu, or nimak. Nimak is also used. It's just a bit confusing because mitu has two meanings. Mitu could mean sweet, which we saw a second ago, as an adjective, but as a noun, mitu means salt. So if something is mitu, mitu che, cha miti che, for example, this tea is sweet. But if I said, oh my God, there's not enough mitu in this shack, that means salt. There's not enough salt in here. So mitu, or my family uses nimak, and nimak is common too, but I think mitu is actually much more common based on my experience with Gujarati. So mitu che, kind of a simple sentence. This is salt. Shakma mitu nati. There is no salt in the curry. Oil is tel. Tel garam che. The oil is hot. રસોઈ બનાવવા માટે કયું તેલ વાપરવું જોઈએ? Bit of a more complex sentence there. રસોઈ બનાવવા માટે. So in order to make food, in order to cook, right? This બનાવવા માટે is kind of like in order to make. કયું તેલ વાપરવું જોઈએ? What oil? કયું તેલ? Which oil? વાપરવું જોઈએ means should we use? વાપરવું is to use. When you combine any verb with joye, that means you should use it. And this is a nice time to throw this in. Please be sure to watch the grammar videos on my YouTube channel. There's a whole grammar playlist. There's a listening playlist. There's this vocab playlist. There's different playlists, and I think it's really important to get exposure to different types of videos because like it'll help you to have that knowledge. So, oh, by the way, going back to rice, if we're gonna be a little bit, here we go. The word for rice. I told you this word which is chokha. Chokha is like raw, uncooked rice. That's what that would be. Chokha. It was funny. I could like picture it in my brain. I was like, what do you call that? Because to me, chokha is chokha. Like it is what it is. So chokha means uncooked rice. Like in my, for example, like I grew up, my nanny, for example, my mom, a lot of people in my family, they like to give chokha to like birds. And so for me, like that's the association I have with it. And bhat is obviously cooked rice. So there we go. Chokha and is uncooked rice. Bhat is cooked rice. Okay, going down here. Office is office. We can pretty much skip that. To run is dorvu. Dorvu. So kutro dore che. The dog is running or the dog runs. Hu roj doru chu. I run every day. Student, we saw this way back in video in episode number 1 because the very first word, very first example has this word in it. It's the word for student, vidyarthi. So hu vidyarthi chu, I'm a student, or e vidyarthi che, he or she is a student. Now students have teachers, shikshak. Mara shikshak che. Oop, hang on, not a, e. E mara shikshak che, he or she is my teacher. Shikshak sara che, the teacher is good. It's a good teacher. Doctor is doctor, that's easy. We can kind of skip that, same as English. Hospital is hospital. We can pretty much skip that as well. Yeah, we can skip this. Medicine, dava, dava. So hu dava lo chu. Hu dava lo chu. I am taking medicine. A dava karvi che. A dava karvi che. Karvi we're going to see later on. Karvi means bitter. So a dava karvi che. Some of you might know. Oh, the name is escaping me right now. Karuvu Kariatu. There we go. Karuvu Kariatu. You feel free to Google it. I'll spell it on the screen for you here. I'll write it in English. You can just Google it. There's a couple of words for it, but one of them is Karuvu Kariatu. There we go. If you search that up, you'll see it's like just look it up. You'll see what it is. I not grew up drinking it, but I've drunk that many times, and it is definitely very karuvu. It is definitely very bitter. It's the most bitter. I've never had something I've perhaps never had something more bitter in my life. Okay, the word for face is chero, chero. So we can probably even simplify this, but whatever. Shu ap varanvar arisama chero juocho. We can simplify that actually, honestly. I could just say tame varanvar arisama chero juocho. So do you often look at your face in the mirror? We can break this down a little bit. So app, so Gujarati, it's kind of funny actually. A lot of people might not know this. Gujarati is two words, two like really frequently used words for you, like how are you today? There are two frequently used words for the word you in Gujarati. The first one is tu is informal. The second one is tame is formal. But actually, there's a third as well, which is app. App is like almost the most formal, but you don't really use it all that often. Um, so I could literally just like put this as tame and that would be perfectly fine. Varanvar, varanvar, I don't think we've seen this word quite yet. I don't think so. Varanvar just means like often, often. Arisama, we saw ariso earlier today, means a mirror. Chero is face and juocho is or do you look at it? Another grammatical point, which particularly for those who don't read Gujarati, you might actually be wondering about this shu in the beginning. Shu ap varanvar arisama juo chero juocho. Because shu, as you guys know, means what. So you might be thinking to yourself, like, wait a second, does that mean what? Do you often look at your face and like, what does that mean? Well, not so much in spoken Gujarati, but if you read Gujarati, you will often see that all questions, like all well, many questions, will start with shu or su at the beginning. If you want like a good equivalent, French has a nice one. If you happen to know French, French has est que. Est que doesn't really mean anything. It's just a question marker. Just indicates what you're about to read as a question. Or or English has it too. Like if I said like, "Do you like pie?" Do typically means is an action. Like I do my homework. It's a thing we act out, right? But in "Do you like pie?" It's just a question indicator. So shu in written Gujarati often is used as a just an indicator that a question is coming next, even though shu actually does mean what. So there's two different possible meanings for shu. It's worth noting as well. I know some people when I meet them, Gujarati learners, when I meet them, they'll have learned Gujarati in a textbook fashion, maybe. And so they'll have read, oh, there's a rule around asking questions. You start the questions with shu. When people talk, they don't actually do that all that often, just so you know. Okay, the next one here. Ako no che roche. Whose face is this? Ako no che roche. 221 is var. Var means hair. Mara var kara che. My hair is black. Ina var lamba che. His or her hair is long. Leg or foot, it's kind of the same word for both, actually. It's pug. Kind of unusual because English we have two words, but Gujarati is just one. So maro pug dukhe che. My leg or my foot hurts. Anano pug che. This is a small foot or it could be a small leg as well. Next one is kan. Kan is ear. Amaro kan che. This is my ear. Kan saf karo. Clean your ears. Nose is nak. Anak che. This is a nose. Anak nanu che. This is the small nose. Pretty easy sentences. Modhu is mouth. I think is one of the listing videos has that word in it. I think. I think actually there might be a. I'm gonna pause the recording. I have a tiny doubt on the grammar of this first sentence. Let me pause and come right back. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, there is a mistake here. I wrote tamaro and I was like, why did I was wondering if I wrote tamaro because I looked up modhu and it was actually neuter. But anyway, it's tamaru, not tamaro. Tamaru modhu. Saaf karo, clean your mouth. Now it is worth mentioning that modhu sometimes depends on the person, could be used interchangeably with. If we go up a little bit, where to go? With chero, which is face, and modhu, which is mouth. Sometimes modhu can also be used for face in some contexts. So just so you know. Modhu band karo, close your mouth, or modhu dhovo, wash your mouth. Again, all these things could be wash your face, clean your face. Close your face sounds kind of funny. So that's definitely in this context, that is definitely close your mouth. But yeah. Okay, son and daughter, we have dikro and dikri. So son, dikro, daughter, dikri. Amaro dikro che, this is my son. Dikro sharai gayo. The son went to school. For a daughter, amari dikri che, this is my daughter. Dikri khush che, the daughter is happy. Well, husband and wife, we have pati and patni. Pati for husband, patni for wife. So amara pati che, this is my husband. Mara pati ghare che. Yeah, for wife, e mari patni che, she's my wife. Patni rasoi banaye che. The wife is cooking. So one thing that I actually genuinely, I'm not 100% sure about this. I'm about 90, but I'm not 100. So actually, if someone happens to know, if someone wants to ask like a Gujarati, their partner or something like that, um, for pati, so husbands, right? For husbands, let me just stop my screen share for a second so I can see you properly. There we go. It's actually funny because I can't really see you properly either way, but anyway, it feels more real and authentic. So okay. So pati is our husband, patni is our wife. Often when, at least traditionally, wives, even the kids would use tame, so like the formal variant of you with the husband slash father. But they'd use the informal variant, tu, when they talk to the wife slash mom. Um, and I think I'm like 90% sure, but I'm not 100. I'm like 90% sure that in the younger generation, that's not so much the case, but I don't 100% know. I think it would really depend on the family. I'm just thinking about some of the different shows and stuff I've seen and how the younger folk talk, and but definitely like traditionally for sure, tame, the formal variant, is used with the father or the husband, right? So the wife would use tame with the husband. The husband would use the informal with the wife. Kids would use informal with mom, formal with father. So it's just a interesting, um, just interesting. To some degree, at least kids to father, I could almost see it. Because if you think very traditionally, like, very traditionally, I'm guessing all this, but traditionally, like, the reason is likely that the wife was the one who was home with the kids. And so the kids actually really spend a heck of a lot more time with the wife. And the father, in a way, almost is more of a stranger, and almost you are more formal with. I'm just guessing. I don't really know if that's the real reason, of course, but just speculating, honestly. And I just share that only because if we just look at the grammar of these sentences, if we look here, even the way I wrote them, just without really thinking much of it, I said e mara pati che, and then I said e mari patni che. So I use the formal my for husband and the informal my for wife. So it's like e mari patni che, e mara pati che, which, traditionally that's how people would talk. But I'm now, as I'm reading it again, I'm thinking like, I do think that with younger folk that, husbands and wives, they both just use tu, the informal variant, with each other. But again, I'm 90% sure that's true. And I really do think it would depend on the family, even if it was true. If you have more context on this, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, let's do one last word today. Normally we've been doing like 50 words per video, but I think today let's make it a little bit fewer words. So toy is ramakru. I love this word, ramakru. It just sounds really cool, doesn't it? Ramakru. Amaru ramakru che. This is my toy. Mane ramakru joye che. I want a toy. Okay, easy sentences. Let's do a bit of practice. We'll do it. Even today, it's kind of a lot of visual words, actually. We can probably just do a lot of pictures, honestly. You know what? I think we can. We can do a lot of, we can do a ton of pictures here. Let me share my screen and I can show you some stuff. Okay, let's share my screen. Yeah, we can do tons of pictures. We don't even need to do anything else today. All right, so I'll show you some pictures. You tell me what you're looking at. Okay, so what is this? Asucha. Asucha. Chasma or chashma, right? Chasma. chasma, chashma, whichever is both are fine, right? Here's the spelling again, right? Chashma. Okay. So a couple more here. Let's look at look at some teaspoons. What's a teaspoon in Gujarati? Chamchi. We also learned for tablespoon. What's a tablespoon? Tablespoon is chamcho. So chamcho, chamchi, chamcho, chamchi. Let's look at some people who are laughing because we did that word today as well. Okay, here's some people. They are laughing. How do we say to laugh in Gujarati? Hasvu, right? Hasvu. And if you want to say someone is laughing, if you're looking at someone like, oh look, that person's laughing. How do we say that? E hase che. E hase che. E hase che. E loko hase che. Like they are laughing. Abe chokri hase che. E loko hase che. Right? But that hase che. Hu hasu chu. I'm laughing. We saw this word today as well. Here we go. What do we call toys in Gujarati? Right? A toy is ramakru. Ramakru. If there's more than one toy, ramakra. Ek ramakru, ek ramakru, ghana ramakra. Okay. We saw some cooking words. Let's look at some cooking ones here. We had oil, for example, some cooking oil. Oil is tel. Tel, right? We had as well, we had, oh yes, that's the one. We had salt. What do you call salt in Gujarati? It's actually kind of funny how all the words today are very, very visual, right? They're very, very visual words today. Mitu. Mitu. Or nimak. Nimak is also fine. Mitu has a secondary meaning. What does mitu mean? What's a secondary meaning? Sweet, right? Let's look at, let me actually look at the lists here. Let's see what word I want to do next. Let's do, oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, here we go. First of all, let's go back and let's look at some other ones. Let's go back here. So we had, what's this here? Oil. Tel, right? We go back again. We had toys. What do we call a toy? Ramakru, right? Or if there's multiple toys, ramakra. Ramakra. Go back again. If someone's laughing, right? What's the verb for laughing? Hasvu, right? Or smiling. Smiling as well, same verb. Teaspoon. Chamchi. Tablespoon. Chamcho. Chamcho, right? Chamchi, chamcho. Glasses. Chashma. Okay, let's do the one here. What do we call a plate in Gujarati? Asucha. Plates are thari. Thari. Thari, right? Bunch of thari here. With lots of yummy pancakes and all sorts of stuff. Thari. Okay. We can do let's get some coffee here. We did in passing the word for bitter. So how would I say like, oh my god, this coffee's so bitter? Right? Or anything's bitter, coffee or whatever. Gadavu. Gadavu. Or in coffee's case, it's feminine, so gadavi. Gadavi coffee. Go gadavicha. It's very, very bitter. Okay, let's have a quick peek at some words here. What else do I want to have you do here? Oh yes. This one I won't have a visual. I'll just ask you. If you ask, like, what do Gujarati people eat? There's kind of a four-word saying that we have. What is it? Dad, bhat, bhat, shak. No, not shak. Shak, shak. No, shak. Dad, bhat, shak, rotli. So dad, that's our lentil soup, I suppose. Bhat is our rice. Rotli, shak, excuse me, shak, which is curry, and rotli, which is of course the rotli, the flatbread, right? And by the way, I just caught this typo that I fixed. I'll show it to you. There's a typo in here. Initially, I'd written shak with an H in the English transliteration, but it's shak, no H. Okay. I will ask you the following question. You can answer it to the screen. So get ready. Imagine we're in your house or you're in my house rather, and it's the morning time, and I'm like, "Tame cha pisho ke coffee? Tame cha pisho ke coffee? Tame cha pisho ke coffee? Will you drink tea or will you drink coffee?" Now let's pretend in this fantasy world you go, "Na cha nahi ne coffee nahi. હું દૂધ પીસ." દૂધ, ગરમ દૂધ. What's દૂધ? દૂધ શું છે ગુજરાતીમાં? દૂધ એટલે milk, right? You're gonna drink milk in the morning. Now you look in. I'm gonna give you another sentence here. I'll do a little sentence with some words that we learned. તમે મારા ઘરમાં છો ને તમે અરીસામાં જુઓ છો ને તમે તમારા વાળ જુઓ છો. Okay, I'll say all that again. તમે મારા ઘરમાં છો. તમે અરીસામાં જુઓ છો ને તમે તમારા વાળ જુઓ છો. What does all that mean? So તમે મારા ઘરમાં છો. You're in my house. તમે અરીસામાં જુઓ છો. So you're looking in the અરીસો, the mirror, right? અરીસો is a mirror. એ તમે તમારા વાળ જુઓ છો. Your વાળ, we'll add one more word. વાળ ને ચહેરો. ચહેરો જુઓ છો. ચહેરો ને વાળ. So look at your face and your hair. All right, what else do we have here? Oh yes, we should have done this earlier. I'll show you a picture for this one. This is the visual one again. Another visual one. What do we call sugar in Gujarati? Sugar ne શું કહેવાય ગુજરાતીમાં? Sugar છે ખાંડ. Khand. Khand. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, let's do a speed round. I'll give you a couple of words. You tell me how to say them. So let's do this. Look what I'm doing. You're running, 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 running. What's the word for running? Dorvu, right? Hun doru chu. I'm running. How do we say student? Student શું છે ગુજરાતીમાં? વિદ્યાર્થી. વિદ્યાર્થી. હવે તમે ક્લાસરૂમમાં છો. તમે શાળામાં છો. શાળા એટલે સ્કૂલ ને. તમે શાળામાં છો ને ઘણા બધા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ છે ને બધા ભણે છે. આ ક્લાસરૂમમાં બધા ભણે છે ને એ લોકો કંઈક નવું શીખે છે, કંઈક નવું શીખે છે. ત્યાં ક્લાસરૂમમાં આગળ કોઈ ઊભું છે. કોણ ઊભું છે? So I'll say all that again. So તમે શાળામાં છો. You are in a school. તમે ક્લાસરૂમમાં છો. You're in a classroom. એ ક્લાસરૂમમાં ઘણા બધા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ છે. There's a whole bunch of students. ઘણા બધા, whole bunch. ઘણા બધા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ, students છે. ને બધા ભણે છે. They're all studying, right? ભણે છે. ને બધા કંઈક નવું શીખે છે. બધા કંઈક નવું શીખે છે. They're all learning something નવું, something new. Right? નવું we saw 2 or 3 episodes ago. Ne આગળ, I'm not sure if we've done yet. આગળ is in front, like in the front of the classroom. આગળ કોઈ ઊભું છે. Someone is standing. I said, કોણ ઊભું છે? Who's standing there? You tell me. Who's standing in the front of the classroom? શિક્ષક. શિક્ષક ત્યાં ઊભા છે. શિક્ષક ઊભા છે. શિક્ષક ત્યાં ઊભા છે. They are standing there. So શિક્ષક is teacher. Let's see here. Let's do a couple of rapid fire ones. What is this here? Asucha. My ear. Kan, kan, Nasusha. Nose. What's that? For the people driving and listening on the podcast. And you can't see the screen. Nose is nak. Nas, well, I can't see my leg, but my leg's down here. What do we say leg, Gujarati ma? Leg sucha. Or foot. Bug, right? Bug. Nasucha. Your mouth. Modhu. Modhu. Now let's look at, let's see here. What have I not done here? Oh yes, last few words here. So if we look at a standard family, જો કે પરિવાર છે, okay? The પરિવારમાં મમ્મી છે, પપ્પા છે, એક છોકરો છે, એક છોકરી છે એમને. તો આ પરિવારમાં એ પુરુષ ને શું કહેવાય ગુજરાતીમાં? એટલે પરિવાર પુરુષ છે ને, પપ્પા છે. પપ્પા એ પતિ છે ને, પતિ પતિ એટલે હસબન્ડ ને પતિ પતિ છે ને પત્ની છે, પત્ની એટલે વાઇફ ને, there's a wife, husband, a wife, પતિ પત્ની ને છોકરો એ પતિનો શું છે? એ પપ્પાનો શું છે? પપ્પાનો દીકરો. He's the son, right? ને મમ્મી ને પપ્પા obviously મમ્મી ને પપ્પાનો દીકરો છે. પછી દીકરી એટલે daughter, એટલે દીકરો અને દીકરી એટલે કે son and daughter, દીકરો son, દીકરી દીકરી એટલે daughter ને. And yeah, that should pretty much cover all the words we did today. Did I miss any? Oh yes, I missed this one. We'll do just a rapid fire for this. What's the word for medicine in Gujarati? The word for medicine. Dava. Dava. Okay, let's finish up there. We left off at number 230. So we shall continue next time with number 231. Aujo, bye.